Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here in this open, safe, and inclusive environment. We want to learn more about everyone that is in the meeting. Um, I want to start with obviously. Oh, Dr. Cody's sharing. Thank you, Dr. Cody. My name is Rosie Diaz. I am the co-president of the Manhattan High School President's Council. I have three kids in the public education system, and I would like we're doing an introduction, so I would like to pass the mic to the other executive board member, Dr. Cody.
Yay, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Jackie Cody, co-president along with Rosa, Manhattan High School's President's Council. Have a beautiful daughter. It's her senior year. Yay! In the New York City public school system. And the excellent experience that she has had. I want to make sure all students have these experiences. So I want to pass it on to Dave Vaughn. And if there's any other executive board members, let us know. But Davon.
Hello, good evening. Hopefully you can hear me. I apologize, I'm in my car. I am Davon Anderson Smith, and I am currently the treasurer of the Manhattan High School's President's Council. I have two wonderful children, one who's graduated from New York City Public High School and is now a freshman in college. And my second child is a sophomore in high school. So I myself am a graduate of the New York City Public School System. So it's a pleasure to be here and advocate for our parents and our students. And welcome to this evening's conversation.
Thanks. I'll pass it on to Reverend Michelle. Thank you, Davon.
Hi, everyone. Hey, I'm so happy to be here. This is the room to be in, okay? My name is Michelle Sweeting DeCaro, and I am the vice president of the Manhattan High School President's Council. Among these esteemed leaders, what a team, what a team. I have an 11th grader in the New York public school system. I am a PA president, and I wear a lot of hats, and I'm just excited to be here to share resources and for everyone to get something great out of this presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Rosa, Deputy Superintendent Walker's on. I don't know if any other superintendents are on. If you are, let us know. But Superintendent Walker?
Good evening, everyone. And thanks for having me on. I bring you greetings from our great superintendent, Dr. Van Ness. And I also, as well as Dr. Van Ness, are graduates of the New York City Public High School. In Queens South, our motto is like seeds. When we nurture our children, they will grow. So I encourage everyone, see, I'm a seed that grew. So I encourage everyone to continue to plant seeds of excellence, nurture our children with lots of love and care, and the season of harvest will be bountiful.
Amen. Thank you for that. Thank you. I see Superintendent Richard Citron.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Dr. Cody.
Hi.
Superintendent Richardson here, New Visions High Schools, 60 schools across the city. Just for coming out, for putting these types of sessions together. It's so important to keep the lines of communication open for our parents, to educate them on everything that they need to know, and just to help us stay in community. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Cody. As always, if you need anything, you have me on speed dial, so please reach out. And just looking forward to finishing a really strong year. March is almost done, one more day, and then we have a couple more months till we get to that finish line. So again, just excited to be here tonight. And as always, I'll throw my contact information into the chat. And if you need anything, please, please reach out.
Thank you, New Visions. And you said it. Usually March is so long because there's no holidays in March. But this year, it just, whew. Yeah. Thank you, Superintendent Cintron. Are there any other superintendents? I don't want to overlook anyone. I don't see anyone. I don't think Superintendent Vitalman is on yet. But let us know.
This is the interpreter. This is the interpreter, Suzanne Terrio. I cannot be let into the Zoom. And I tried multiple ways. I left many answers on the answering machine service, and I emailed Adriana Vasquez.
Oh, do you have Rosangela Valdez email address?
I did. I sent her an email. I tried contacting SLR, Sign Language Resources.
Okay, she'll send you her link, okay?
Resend the link.
She will send you her link and you will join on her link. And then okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, so we're gonna pass it on now to the unions. We'll start with United Federation of Teachers, Cynthia Alvarez. Cynthia?
I'm trying to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm gonna put the camera on. Can you see me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm Cynthia Alvarez. I am the Manhattan Borough Parent and Community Liaison. Thank you. I'm going to give a quick presentation on BRAVE, our anti-bullying initiative workshop that we offer to parents, community, and school. So after attending a few Respect for All training, the UFT decided 15 years ago to try and do more for our students, parents, and educators by providing an array of workshop tips and activities highlighting some of the pitfalls. Some of the workshops included the ones you are seeing here. To create even more awareness at our schools, center, and apartment buildings, we also have an array of poster boards that we could send to the nearest school in the area. Elementary grades, that's, where are we, a slide?
Hi, I'm sorry. This is the interpreter QA. I just wanted to point out that my French interpreters are not being dialed into their number. So if we can let them in, they're still saying they're on hold and they hear the hold music.
Okay, interpreters, we're recording. So if you can put a message in the chat if you're having difficulty, and we'll make sure that we will help you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Dr.
go ahead.
Wait till I say next slide before you flip up.
Okay.
All right, so some of the workshops include the one you see here. And for more detailed listing, you can either click on the request link, and I will gladly share, or you can scan the QR code to see what the forms look like right now. I'll give you an opportunity to do that. Next slide. To create even more awareness of your school center, at your school center and apartment building, we also have an array of poster board that we could send to the nearest school in your area. Next. Elementary grade, with the most creative way of combating bullying. We have an awards for with No Child Eats Alone program. Feel good meter boards and other inclusive activities can get a visit from our BRAVE specialist to receive upstanders awards and certificate. Up next. The award ceremonies held at UFT Central Office, middle and high schools. A gun violence discussion is had. We have our scholarship fund. We also have Dial a Teacher, and an anti-bullying conference. Being upstanders are not bystanders. Brave Chat Space. We have a video contest that we have going on now. And we have a Brave Chat that's fast and confidential. Request for workshops or tabling links, or if you have any questions and can't get to us, use the request link to put your thoughts or ideas to us. We would love to hear from you. If you pull up this next slide, sorry. Thank you for listening to this brief presentation. We would love to continue to provide you and your school community with additional tips and resources, so please feel free to request. You can, our Brave connector is Jose Lago and Debbie Namath, you put on a QR code. So we do the Brave presentations at schools and for parents. I'm also going to share that we have a parent leadership series coming back in May. It's May 6th, 13th, and 20th. If you save those 3 Saturdays, we're doing a lot of the workshops that you're doing tonight, as well as more intensive ones. And I'm proud to say that the Manhattan Parent Conference is coming back. So our date is October 28th, 2023. That's a Saturday. So thank you. I just wanted to introduce myself and the various and I just learned today of a positive learning collaboratives that we have at UFT. So just consider us a resource. My email is calvarez1@uft.org. And my number is 917-994-4011, which I will share with Dr. Cody so she can forward to the rest of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So now we pass it on to our next union, and that is DC 37, Local 372, Andre Bullock.
Give me 1 second. Could you see me?
Yay, we can see you, yay.
Thank you, Dr. Cody. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be with you and support you and participate in this meeting tonight. Dr. Cody, I don't have a PowerPoint, but I'll just go through a few about titles and what they actually do in the schools. My name is Andre Bullock. I'm the DC 37 Council Rep. I cover district, Community School District, District 2 in Manhattan, and I cover QPL, Queens Public Libraries in Queens, which is Local 1321. We are comprised over 60 plus locals, but more specifically in the schools, we have titles in the schools. We have school aides, and school aides assist school in various ways to protect students, whether it's at lunch duty or recess. We have supervising school aides who actually supervise the school aides during lunch duty, recess, just to make sure everyone's at their post. This is how our titles assist families. We have the family worker. They do various things. We have various family worker descriptions. We have family workers that assist with students in temporary housing. We have family workers that work with the SBS team and do home visits. When a student doesn't show up to school, our family workers do home visits to check and see how they can actually assist that family. Next title, we have community titles, which consist of community coordinators which do a wide range of things. They work in schools, but not just schools, they work in DOE buildings. And we have community coordinators that work on universal 3K and pre-K, right? We have community coordinators who work at the family centers. We have community coordinators that work in assistant family court. So we have that title that does a wide range of things. We have next up the community associate title, which is our parent coordinators in the school, which is the liaison between the school, and the parents, right? Where the parents have a direct contact person to reach out to if they need assistance. Next up, we have our SAPIS counselors, and SAPIS stands for Substance Abuse Prevention and Intervention Specialists. Those are our SAPIS counselors that prevent students from indulging in alcohol and drugs and keeping them on the right path. And last but not least, this particular title was a beast. That's right, a beast during the pandemic. And that's our school food title. We serve, the Office of Food and Nutrition Services serve only second to the US Army in meals. And during the pandemic, they served over 2 million meals a day. So those are the significant ways that our titles that we represent assist families in many different ways. I can go on, but unions are not here to take over the meeting. Of course, this is you guys' meeting. I'll stop there. I won't go any further, but unions have always been in the business of supporting families, right? The students are the customers. We try to have our titles provide the best service possible. And along the way, things are revised and adjusted, right? Through collective bargaining. That's how our members provide a better service to the families. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I hope everyone realize and see how much unions, all education stakeholders, how when we work together and know our roles and know our information, what one another provides, there's no stopping. There's no reason why the New York City public schools cannot be greater, the greatest. So thank you again, Mr. Bullock. Thank you very much. My Sorrel Alvarez. Thank you all. Are there any questions for the unions before we move on?
I just wanted to say thank you to the presenters here today for all the work that you do to support schools and parents and students and the community as a whole. And I gotta say big ups to unions because I'm a union worker myself. So, you know, local CW Local 100. So much respect. So thank you for being here.
Thanks, Selena. Thank you. So I will now bring to you information on the structure of the New York City public schools. Before I do, want to play a video. Thank you. Okay, I lost my screen. So I'm going to speak with everyone about the structure of the New York City public school system. We're going to start with schools. I'll get my presentation back up really soon. And my apologies, everyone. Here you have the New York City public schools, parent leadership and community structure. So in every school, there needs to be a PTA in order for a school leadership team to exist. And if your school is a Title I, which you'll hear more about later from our parent leader, Selena, if your school is a Title I school, you need to have a Title I Parent Advisory Council. Now, when you are a PTA president, you have an automatic seat on the district or borough-wide president's council. So we're moving up to the district level. You have your community education councils, you have your district leadership team, district Title I, Parent Advisory Council, and your Borough High School President's Council, which you are engaging with us right now, the Manhattan High School's President's Council. Let me backtrack a little bit and let everyone know my favorite entity is the school leadership team, because this is where you have an opportunity for education stakeholders to engage in shared decision-making around what is best for every child in that school. And who knows the school better than the people inside, the students, parents, educators in that school. So I love school leadership teams, and the more effective your school leadership team is, the better your school is. And that's just the bottom line. So your DOE support at the school level is your parent coordinators. Moving back up to the district level, your parent support at the district level are your family your family leadership and support coordinators, the FLCs and FSCs. Now, New York City public school system is the largest school system in the state and the country. So we're going to move over to the central level, which we're the only district in the country that has a third level. All other public school systems are run by districts. The New York City public school system is run by central. So at the central level, you have Panel for Education Policy, Citywide Council on High Schools, English Language Learners, District 75, Special Education. You have your Chancellor's Parent Advisory Council. Now, if you're the president of your President's Council, you have an automatic seat on the Chancellor's Parent Advisory Council. The same thing with City PAC for Title I. You have your Title I Parent Advisory Council Chair, who has a seat on the District Title I Parent Advisory Council, and then the chair of your DPAC has a seat on your City PAC Title I, which again, you'll hear more about from parent leader Selena. But here at the central level, just know this, that funding goes directly from the central level to schools. But there's no opportunity for education stakeholders to engage in shared decision-making at DOE, public schools central level. And you just heard from UFT and DC 37, all that they have to offer. So why wouldn't that be part of a conversation at the central level, along with parent leaders, student leaders, educators, and the unions discussing and modeling for schools and districts how to effectively align the budget with the comprehensive education plan. That is so important. And you'll hear more about that later. So we have formed the citywide leadership team, and we will be sending out more information about that as time goes on. And we have the next Citywide Leadership Team Summit is on May 9th. So listen out for those invitations to that summit and join us to learn more about how we should work together to make sure every student, every child has direct access to high quality education. Before I move on, I want to show everyone that there's something called the Principals Assessment. Every school leadership team, every parent who's a member on a school leadership team works together to fill out the principal's assessment every year, and you submit it to the superintendent. Parents do not know this. So this has to be common information, and, you know, get it out there to parent leaders, because as a PTA president, you are an automatic member, or you're a mandated member actually on the school leadership team. Without you, the school leadership team cannot exist. So you work with other parents to make sure that you submit this assessment of the principal. And as a school leader, I would want to know how I'm doing. And you would want to send that in. And superintendents would want to know how their principals are doing. And they would be able to see that, oh, this principal's doing great. I will match them up with the principal that's not doing so well and try to get more support in that way to make sure our school leadership teams are all functioning well. So again, our leadership structure, no matter what we do, this is the structure of the New York City public school system. In your schools, you have parent, student, community organizations, that is your PTA, Title I, Student Government and Advisory Council, your school leadership team, and your DOE support is your parent coordinator. On the district level, you have president's councils, community education councils, Title I DPAC, and Borough Student Advisory Council, district leadership teams, and your family leadership and support coordinators are the parent support. And at DOE central level, you have the Chancellor's Parent Advisory Council, citywide councils on D75, EL, English language learners, high school and special education, high school subcommittee, panel on education policy, Title I City PAC, Chancellor's Student Advisory Council, and we are implementing a citywide leadership team so that our education stakeholders can engage in shared decision-making, even at the central level, and model for the districts and school leadership teams on how to effectively work with everyone. And your DOE support is a family community empowerment phase. So, does everyone see the poll? I think a poll came out and you can work that. And I will, is a poll up for everyone to see, Rosangela?
Yes, it should be for everyone.
Okay. Everyone can answer the poll. If you're not a co-host, you can respond to the poll. And I will hand it over to our family leadership coordinator from New Visions, Abdoulaye Balde.
Now this is a new interpreter. We'll switch.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Cody. I'm so happy to be here tonight. Again, my name is Abdoulaye Balde. I am the Family Leadership Coordinator for Superintendent Cintron Office. We are New Vision Schools. So again, thank you so much for everything you are doing for our families, for New York City. So because I will speak about what and why is a PTA needed, so we're gonna play a video. Okay, I hope you enjoy the video and maybe you learn something from this. So also this video is backed by law, you know, according to New York State law, section 2590H require every New York City public school to have a school leadership team, okay? And also Chancellor Regulation A665 establish guidance to ensure that the formation of effective SLT in every New York City public school. Why it's important to highlight that? Because, you know, within the SLT, you have the PTA president, you have student representation. So all stakeholders within that school are represented within the SLT. Okay, so it is important to be a part of the SLT.
You muted just,
it's important to be part of the SLT. Okay, so next, Dr. Cody. And so speaking about that, we cannot have the SLT or the PTA without elections, right? In order to have an election, these elections need to be organized, right? It need to be organized by parent leaders, right? The PTA need to follow chancellor regulations and the school bylaws that exist in that particular school, right? And you need to do meeting notice. This meeting notice need to go to the parent 10 days. I'm sorry, my little one is, you know, speaking around here. I'm sorry about that. But you need to have like 10 days notice, 10 days calendar before the election meeting, right? These notice needs to be distributed to the families within 10 days, okay? You need to agree on the date, the time of the election, so the venue that can be used. You know, since the pandemic, now some people choose to do it remotely, right? So you need to agree on the venue of how you're gonna do the election. Also, a list of position to be filled, including SLT position, right? The only qualification for all position is that the candidate to be a parent or have a child enrolled in that particular school. All nomination will be taken from the floor at the election meeting, okay? And the term limit also of the position are included in the bylaws, okay? So Dr. Cody, you can move next because I'm on the next right now. Next slide, yes. So it is important, like all stakeholders agree on all these following. So at the end of the election, nobody gonna say they are not included and they are not involved about around the process. Okay, so also what else is important to have an election? That we have what we call the do's and the don't of an election, right? So next slide, Dr. Cody. So to have an election, you need to know about the do's and the don'ts, right? I will go around. Hello, sorry. Okay. You will need to understand that you are not allowed to use breakout rooms to screen and prevent participants from entering the meeting. Forget to record the meeting. Okay, like right now, Dr. Cody, for example, she's recording this meeting, right? Use chat within the virtual platform of the election as assigned sheet. Allow participants to vote if they are not eligible voters. So for that, the parent coordinator that's already Dr. Cody mentioned before, the parent coordinator that is your direct contact within the school need to confirm that these parents are the real parents. So some school, like they use code or like they have their ways of identifying the parent, but someone who work in that school need to confirm that these parents are eligible parent and they have students in that school. Forget to readmit participants in breakout rooms back into the general meeting. Okay. Disclose student or parent information. This part is extremely important. Privacy matter. Okay. So you need to make sure there is people information really you keep them confidential and they are not shared with everybody, especially for students and you know, also for parents, right? So for the do's, I think you already know about that, but taking a picture of each polling result, you know, share screen with your participant, record the meeting, use an online sign-in sheet. So all these particular points are important. Also ensuring your platform has voting or polling features, right? Work with your school to provide language access. Like tonight, we have like translation in Spanish and other languages, making sure that parents have access to that, right? And also, making sure that everybody is in the same page, like within the school, there's flyers within the school, and also backpack letters with notice have been sent home, right? Next. For that, because of time, I have just to go there. So parent engagement have like a timeline. So as a parent leaders, you need to understand what needs to happen every month, right? From June to June, you need to know what's happening so you can monitor. Also, you can work with all stakeholders, make sure that things are happening the way they're supposed to happen, okay? Why not? You should just speak to someone within that school. So you lobby for it, you speak to people for it, so everybody can be in the same page and we can impact positively, and we can do family engagement in the right way. So from that June is transfer of record, review, and budget. So after the election, we make sure that the election certification are signed by the principal, by the principal, but also that people do not, if there is someone who contests the election, there is also, you sign the election and you review the budget in June, right? So I will come just now to, I'm gonna jump because right now we're in March. So what is important right now to know, I'm sorry, what is important to know right now? It's important to know that currently you should already have as a PTA president or part of the take it. Bye. Okay. So as a parent leader, you should at this time right now, you should make sure that you already discuss the PTA election for this upcoming school year. You already have that discussion plan with your school stakeholders. You already review the past and upcoming fundraiser for the school, and also making sure that you have that conversation with the principal and agree on the date so you can send a notice. So right now you can have your election in April if you want to do it right now. Okay, so you don't have to wait. Okay, so and that means your parents will be able to have their election following your school bylaws. Again, you have always to reference yourself with the school bylaws. Okay. April notify principal of the date and time of the election. I already spoke about that. So May, create new annual budget, plan next year fundraising activities, and June, submit annual financial report. Okay, review event of the past year, prepare conduct transfer of records. So I'm so happy that this is happening right now, and a lot of parents are informed about it. If you need question around it, I will put my contact information, and we are so happy to always partner with Dr. Cody and all the other parent leaders that are working with us to make a positive impact for our families, for our students, and for our community. With that, thank you. If you need to have question, I will be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I want to recognize Jessica Long, who's here on behalf of Superintendent Dr. Alan Chang. Are you still here, Jessica, or you left?
No, I'm still here. Hello, Dr. Cody. Hi, everybody. I really appreciate the invitation. Like Dr. Cody said, I work with Superintendent Alan Chang, who leads the consortium, Internationals and Outward Bound High Schools, 17 of which are in Manhattan. So it's really important for us to be able to connect and put names to faces around parents and parent leaders. Really appreciate all the work that you all do and just your contributions as participants and equal partners in support of all our Manhattan schools, but particularly our schools in our district. We thank you. And thank you, Dr. Cody and Co-President Rosa Diaz for inviting us today.
Thank you very much. And I'm sorry. Yes, thank you very much, Jessica, and tell Dr. Chang thanks again. And so now, Abdoulaye Balde, thank you so much for letting us know about elections and your presentation. Thank you so much. I just wanted to catch Jessica before she left. Thanks, Abdoulaye. If anyone has any questions, you could put them in the chat. There will be a Q&A towards the end, or you can raise your hand and we can have that conversation. All right, so I will introduce our next presenter, Reverend Michelle Sweeting DeCaro and Ayana Behin, and Reverend Sweeting DeCaro will talk about roles and responsibilities of PTA officers.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Cody. Thank you to Rosa and for all of those on the teams. You can't do anything alone. So it's so important to be a part of a group. And Abdoulaye gave such an amazing presentation. And I especially love the last piece about the events and activities, because as a PA president, it has helped me to be able to kind of formulate and have a structure. So I'm very grateful for that. So I am here to just share with you roles and responsibilities of being in the PA or PTA. And so we'll go to the first slide. I will say this, getting to know the rules. So Abdoulaye went over or shared a little bit about the regulations A60 and A655 and the bylaws. And so if you need more information on that, you can reach out to him. And I went myself and downloaded the information just so I could see the language that is being discussed when I have PA meetings. So thank you. Next slide. Chairing and presiding meetings. The first thing I want to say is just total transparency. When you are the parent of a younger child, I'm talking about like early childhood or even middle school, the PA is big. Like when my son was in kindergarten, first, second grade, I mean, boy, the PA meetings were sold out. It was like a ticket to a concert. And now he's in high school and it's very difficult, but we still come together. We still try to do the best that we can for the students and with the teachers and the staff, and really being a part of the PTA. You know, at the end of the day, it's really about addressing issues that are important to parents and school public administrators. And we fight for funding, and we look at quality teachers, and we look at how the school is serving our children, and not just our children, but all of the students in the school. So you definitely, when you're chairing a PA or PTA meeting, you have to know the purpose of the meeting. Again, that's why that list of activities and meetings is so important. Of course, you can change things around to what best meets your need at that time, but you definitely want to have a purpose for the meeting. You have to be prepared. And another thing is making sure that you've set your time, making sure you have minutes. And because we've been on Zoom, making sure that we record. Sometimes parents cannot make the meeting. And once we started recording the Zoom, they were so excited and then wanted to participate in the next meeting. Definitely keeping an agenda and, you know, having things go smoothly. You know, Dr. Jackie, I do the same thing. I play the music, put you in the mood, you know, so that you are ready to be engaged and ready to be a part. And you should definitely make sure that you ask for questions. Sometimes Parents may even be shy about some things. So at our PA meeting, we have a little container with some index cards, and parents can write on those index cards, and then we pull them out maybe 10 minutes before to answer questions that may be anonymous, right? And then you want to close your meeting out with a clear outcome. This is what we did, and this is what we're going to do for the next meeting. Next slide, please. The role of the president, the do's and the don'ts. You could go with this or you could go with that. Oh boy, let me get out of entertainment mode. So the do's: have a vision, maintain impartiality, not taking sides because you know someone or because that person is you and that person's child are best friends. Nothing like that. You have to be fair, be respectful. It's so important to be respectful. You know, sometimes power can allow some to kind of get ahead of themselves and have a bigger head, but we want to make sure that we are being respectful and being humble. Make sure you create that agenda, communicate with your team. And that's something I can say even for the Manhattan President's Council, Manhattan High School President's Council, is Dr. Jackie always shares information. There's always communication. And so as the president of the PA, you want to make sure that you're communicating with your team. Be transparent. You know, listen, we wanted to get 20 parents. We got 5. Let's talk about what we need to do. Being transparent and also protecting the democratic process. What is the process here? So we're not just kind of making it up as we go along. There should always be a structure. Don't be a bully. Don't be biased. Don't be unfair. Don't be unkind. Don't be unprepared. Don't do whatever you want to do. Don't be secretive. No silos. And don't act like a boss or supervisor. Act like you are a community. Next slide. So important that you have a recording secretary. And sometimes, and I'll say this for myself, you know, some of us are not the greatest note taker. I'm an English professor and I'm always asking a student, okay, who's going to take notes? Because, you know, I don't get it all right. And so you want to make sure that you have someone who is capable. And you know what? Even if there's not one person, then you have a shared responsibility. So maybe at one meeting, one person is taking the meeting minutes, maybe the next month someone else, so that it's not all labored on one person. But of course, you need to have all these things: time, date, location, particularly now since we've been having a lot of Zoom meetings, name of all the attendees, and even those who couldn't make it. You have to accept or amend previous meeting minutes, making sure that everyone has read it, that everyone agrees, and decisions should be made regarding each items on those agendas. Then you go into next steps. Motions are accepted. There are outcomes of a vote. How many said yes? How many said no? How many abstained? What does that mean? Sometimes when you have abstains, that means, wait a minute, we need to look at this. Why hasn't anyone given an answer? Maybe we need to change the narrative of the question. Maybe we need to ask a different question. So those votes matter. Then talk about new business, and then the date and time of your next meeting, and also making sure that whoever is the recording secretary, that they write their John Hancock, their initials. So it's very important to have a recording secretary or more than one. Next slide. We're almost done. The role of the treasurer. Oh, the treasurer. Does that mean there's money in the bank? Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. It doesn't matter if you have 5 cents, $5 or 500 or 5,000. You need to have a financial report. I mean, for us, we've had parents who have donated, and we're trying to put together trying to put something in place where we have some money in the bank. I think we're going to be doing the Manhattan President's Council is going to have an event on the 17th about banks. And so you definitely want to have the name of the organization, the period that the report covers, the balance, the cash balance at the beginning of the period, the income received during that period, whether it was very small or very large, everything counts. The expenses paid during the period, even if someone donated, or even if someone, I know one of the things with our PA is we didn't have enough money for the Zumba. And so we got an anonymous donation. You write that down, anonymous. Right? The cash balance at the end of the period and the signature of the treasurer. And usually that should be one person because everybody shouldn't have their hands in the bank. It should be one person who takes on that role. Thank you. Next slide. So these are non-mandatory officers, the vice president to assist the president or co-presidents. I know for us, we don't have a vice president. We have co-presidents, a corresponding secretary to assist the recording secretary or co-secretaries to assume that role in their absence, a financial secretary also to assist. A lot of these are assisting, right? The parliamentarian, which is also a non-mandatory role, that's the expert in rules and order and the proper procedure for conducting meetings. We haven't had too many of those, but if we need to, we know where to go. And of course, a timekeeper, someone who makes sure that we start on time and we end on time, even for us tonight. And the sergeant at arms, which politely keeps the order. You know what I'm saying? They're not school safety, but they're keeping order, making sure that all of the standard duties are listed, particularly in the Roberts Rule of Order, which is newly revised, by the way. So I think that, again, the PA and the PTA are so important, and it means so much to the students when even they know that their parents are involved. And it also encourages the principal, the vice principal, the teachers, and the staff. But most of all, we are there for the students. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Very good. Thank you, Reverend Michelle. Thank you. Any quick questions for Reverend Michelle before we move on to Ayana Baheen?
And if I could just say, excuse me, we're going to switch interpreters, please.
Selena, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something pertaining to, and I'm glad I heard Reverend Michelle say it, because she kept saying PA. I realized in support of a lot, not everyone has a PTA in their school, they have a PA. So I just wanted to let people know how important that was to, if you had a PA, that's important, and you can have a PA. And I think they're part of, or I'm asking, are they can be part of the national PTA, even though they're under a PA? That's one of the questions, if you can get back to me.
That's a very, yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Jackie, yes.
I'm pretty sure, but I can definitely get a confirmed answer from, they had a conflict in their schedule. They would have loved to be here, but they had a conflict in their schedule, as many did this evening. But I'm pretty sure, but I'll get a definite answer for you.
Thank you so very much, because I know a lot of schools are switching, doing PAs now. Okay, thank you, Dr. Jackie.
Thank you. All right, Ayana, the floor is yours to talk about roles and responsibilities when it comes to CECs.
All right, thanks so much. Hi, everybody. I'm Ayana Baheen, Director of Training and Conflict Consulting at New York Peace Institute, which is a nonprofit providing free mediation to New Yorkers. I'm taking off that hat and I'm putting on my former CEC president hat. I was the president of CEC and 13 in Brooklyn from around 2017 to 2021. I want to say, Reverend Michelle, everything that you said about PAs and PTAs applies to CECs, right? Like that idea that you're there to represent not just your child's needs, but everybody in that school, every child in that school. The same is true with CECs, except instead of just thinking about your child's school, you're thinking about all the schools in your district, right? And you really want to think about like how big a job that is. That job is too big for one person. So president or not, yes, the buck stops with you when you're the president. A lot of correspondence will come straight to you when you're the president of the CEC, but you need your members because it's a heavy, heavy lift to make sure every single school feels seen and heard, and that you're paying attention to what their needs are and helping to funnel resources to them. Like, think of yourself as like the advocate for the schools in your district. You're trying to get resources to those schools specifically because, you know, you don't have a big budget. Yes, you will still need a treasurer to make sure that you're keeping track of the budget that you do have to pay for food at CEC meetings, to pay for childcare, et cetera, if you need it. But really, you're going to be advocating for your local representative, your city council members, et cetera, dollars for the schools that need them, or for big community projects. So Dr. Jackie and I, a few years ago, put together this calendar of best practices. It is a couple years old, but so relevant, and it really helps to make sure that every month you're preparing for what's coming down the pike, because there are so many responsibilities. So in June, you know, welcome to the CEC. Start that end of year coming together and planning for next year. Write your calendar, be in touch with your local schools so that you're not conflicting with their schedules if you can help it. Then July, you've got your budget meeting, you're electing your officers, you're meeting with your superintendent to talk about what their priorities are for your district so that you're working in tandem with each other. And then you can also talk about what your priorities are and how you're gonna make them happen. You're gonna communicate those goals. And then in August, you're gonna work with your AAs again to secure permits for your calendar for those schools if you're meeting in person. And if you're not, you know, you still want to reach out again to make sure that the schools know what your calendar is so that they can share it with their parent body. All right, I'm ready for the next one. September, first meeting of the year. Welcome, 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 everybody. Consider, because you have to have some joint meetings with your President's Council, consider using this opportunity to have a joint meeting and start the year off together in tandem with your President's Council. You also want to schedule your school visits, and this is another reason why you want to not hoard all the power for yourself, but really share it, because you want to make sure that your other members are helping you carry the burden of visiting every school. So again, every school feels like they can reach out to you and talk to you about their needs. November, C for E presentation. You want to plan for that to happen in November or in the spring. That's an annual presentation about, again, bringing dollars to your schools. You want to keep an eye out for a school construction authority capital plan. This is when you really want to start planning to, if you haven't already, go into those schools and see what capital improvements or needs they have so that you don't miss your deadlines when you're asking for that money. It looks like October and November were switched. Apologies for that. So in October, again, visiting the schools, working with your school leadership teams. What we did was we also worked to have a middle school forum, right? Because the CEC, Community Education Council, is really about the elementary and middle schools in your district. And so you want to help to make sure that parents and families and guardians know about the middle school options for their students. December, meet your local legislators if you haven't already, and plan that legislative brunch. Again, they want to be in communication with the families and in their purview, right? The people that they're representing, they want to talk to you, they want to be seen. So use this opportunity to meet them by scheduling a legislative lunch. In District 13, a couple of times we paired our legislative brunch with our elementary school showcase or our middle school showcase, right? And so again, it's a way to get people to come in and get a chance to speak with their legislators about the priorities. Another time to have a joint meeting with President's Council. January, state of the district. You want to think about, okay, we set these priorities in the summer. Where are we in our timeline? Are we getting things done? Check in and check in with your superintendent around their priorities. And you really want to share that with your community in your January meeting. You're also going to want to vote on and submit your capital plan recommendations. Oh, and kindergarten applications are due. I don't know if that's the way that it will continue to be, but that's how it's been. And then meet with ODP in February prior to the March deadline. Okay. You're looking at your budget. You're thinking if there are any major issues that you need to be on the lookout for your district. And then next we have March spotlight on a district-wide issue. If you haven't already done this, if you've really been focusing on individual schools, this is a great time to think about something that impacts your entire district and bring everybody together to talk about it. April, again, a joint President's Council meeting, and this is a good time to tie up loose ends as you're nearing the end of the school year. As that leaves May for you to review, discuss, and create your superintendent's evaluation for signature and submission. And the citywide councils also provide their annual reports. So that's really, in a nutshell, I guess the things that I want you to take away is that there are some specific responsibilities and duties that you have to carry out. They're laid out here, but you can also find them in your bylaws and those chancellor's regs that both the previous speakers mentioned. And remember that you are there to represent all of the students in your district, and sometimes come together with other CECs to represent all the students in the city. All right, thank you, Dr. Jackie, for inviting me to speak, and to the rest of your council for being so welcoming.
Thank you so much, Ayana. It's always good to see you. Thank you both, Reverend Michelle, Ayana, excellent. I feel we can be more effective when we all know our roles. We all have our gifts. We all need to have an understanding of what our roles are and not be, flopping off of each other or no one doing this role. As we work together and understand what our respective responsibilities are, we can be much more effective. So thank you, ladies, again. I appreciate you so much. With that said, I don't see Farah yet, so we're gonna jump right on to parent leader Selena Rochelle Atterbury and DOE Director Sharon Rencher. I have to say public schools, no longer DOE Director. So I put Selena's information in the chat, and I will pull up her slides as I hand it over to her. And again, if anyone has any questions as we're going along, please raise your hand or put the questions in the chat, and we'll definitely have space at the end for a Q&A and conversation. So Selena.
Thank you, Dr. Jackie, for welcoming me here at your table. I feel so blessed to be part of this fantastic forum. I mean, just as a parent leader myself, I'm just so thankful that your council has brought together, all stakeholders. So thank you so very much. Myself, yes, you said Rochelle. I always like my middle name, so I try to get in there whichever way I can. I can't put it in certain database because they say it's too long a character, but if I can, I put it in there. My name is Selena Rochelle Atterbury. I'm a mother of 6 adult children. My youngest being a freshman at Morgan State University, shouting him out. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Title I. I am the New York City public school, like you say, not DOE anymore, parent representative on the New York State Education Department of ESSA and Title I Committee of Practitioners. As they say, cops, but we're not cops. I'm a member. And I'm a member of the Citywide Parent Advisory Council, City PAC Steering Committee. And I also just founded my own parents group called Parent Leaders United. As you can see, my information and my motto and my principles are in the chat, so I won't repeat that again. And I just want to know my service. My passion is always to be of service to someone. So I just wanted to introduce myself as who I am, as a person who's always want to be of service and help or support any way I can. So thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm going to really talk about Title I. I was going to do SLT, but I see everybody did SLT. But I will talk about SLT, how it applies to Title I. So I guess we're going to start at slide 38. And this whole package, I got to be so thankful to Senior Executive Director Sharon Rencher, who put this deck together for me. She's always helpful, anything that parents ask her to do. I'm on her team. So, but this is 52. So we're gonna, Dr. Jack, are we gonna send this out to the attendees? Y'all can have it all and they'll explain everything. Title I Parent Engagement Requirements. I sat as on Title I as a PAC chair for many years in my school. My son's, I'm talking about my youngest son, on his junior high school, his high school, and I also was the DPAC chair for like 8 years or more for District 31. So Title I is my passion. This is where my wheelhouse is at. So once again, Title I Parent and Family Engagement Requirements. I'm gonna go through this quick as I can. Next slide. Thank you. As you can see, it's, meaningful essential engagement includes, and we say SLT meaning because the Title I parents, if you have a Title I school, you definitely bring Title I parents and their voice to the SLT table because you're supposed to work together to create the parent and family engagement policy in the school and parent compact piece. So you're supposed to be there to influence and parents feel empowered. So, all those words, like take it in and just say, this is what, like Dr. Michelle said, uplifting and making parents feel involved and letting them know their voice is important and they are valued and working together as a team and as a school community. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is Title I is a federally funded program. It is state law. It must be in every school. Every school must have a PAC if there's a Title I school. And in accordance, you see with Section 116, every Student Succeed Act, the December 15 Reorganization of Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESSA, used to be ESA. All school receiving Title I funds must conduct outreach to all parents and family members of students, including in the Title I program, and implement programs and activities and procedures for involvement of parents and family members. And as you can see, In Title I schools, the SLT is responsible for facilitating consultation, meaning that SLT got to consult with the Title I parent representatives regarding a joint development of the CEP. This part that I was talking about, the parent involvement policy and the school parent compact. They must get together and talk like, okay, what are we supposed to do in these areas? Because the CEP is like a living document. It's always growing and moving. So like the partners, because it's a team. It's not like you vote and the staff decides or the parent decide. You work together collectively to say what's the best outcome as far as the community. The comprehensive educational plan for the students, meaning that we got to get together as a team, as a school community. So here's the protocols. You can click on the protocols for Title I and parent engagement. That's current now. Like I said, that's also living documents. We always upgrading it and doing what we need to do to enhance it so it can really work together with the current way of parent engagement for the time. So you'll always go back and look into it and you'll see it being like, okay, we added this because we listened to parents and heard what schools and the community said as a whole. So, but one thing you must do, you must conduct the annual Title I parent meeting. And that's not the Title I chairperson, that is the principal. That is something that must be done. You must establish a school level Title I parent advisory council or PAC, and it must be the superintendent must establish in that district a Title I district parent advisory council. Now, all DPAC consists of from K to 12. So even in my borough, I live in District 31, that's Staten Island. Our community and high school superintendent is one. So, it's easier for us. But even in boroughs that, you have a separate high school superintendent in the community, the DPAC must include grades from K to 12. You do the elections of the PAC and the DPAC officers, school-based planning, budget, expenditures of Title I set aside funding. Next slide. This is the annual Title I parent meeting. This is, like I said, for the parents, for the principal to do. It is a meeting facilitated by the principal or his designated assistant who has the knowledge of the school's education program and the use of Title I funds to support the program. And school-wide programs, SWP, I already said school-wide programs, all Title I parents must be invited to the meeting. And targeted system programs, schools, only parents of Title I eligible children must be invited to the meeting. Although this is a meeting for parents, staff members and other members of the school community are encouraged to participate. Next slide, please. The role of the Title I Advisory Council. I wanted to not read everything. I just wanted to go off on the gist because I know we're on a time limit, but mainly the Title I PAC is a collective and representative body that involves and engages all Title I parents. Just one second. Pardon me, I'm so sorry. The Title I representative chairperson will represent the PAC and participate with the SLT in the joint review, planning and involvement of the school's Title I program, CEP, and development and revision, I just said that, of the parent and family engagement policy. The size of the Title I PAC is school-based, is a school-based decision. It should include Title I parents and the Title I parents of students in various grades and English language learners and students with IEPs. Responsibility of the Title I PAC is to ensure effective involvement of the Title I parents to support the partnership between other school community stakeholders, SLT, and etc. Title I PAC informs the Title I parents on Title I issues and assures that the views and opinions of the school Title I parents are conveyed to the SLT. As I said, bringing their voice back to the table. Next slide, please. and this is how I work. SLT in the role of the Title I PAC chairperson, which is supposed to sit on the SLT. The representative of the parents at the represent Title I parents at the SLT. You work with the SLT on school-wide program, school-wide planning, share news with Title I parents, consult with Title I parents on a 1% budget, parent and family engagement policy. So you're planning, you're communicating, and this is your role, what you do. Next slide, please. Oh, this is, I was a DPAC chair. This is the role of the district parent advisory council. Let me just put it in my words. At the district parent advisory, at the DPAC, you come together, you bring together the Title I school PAC chairs to your meeting, and you're about giving out information, helping, supporting, uplifted, and doing all what you can to help them with their role and help them with the duties they need to do at the school level. I'm not going to read everything per se. It's mainly to come together to help parents for the PAC chairs to be there, to be their support system. Next slide. I'm kind of like going through this because I know this. So that's me. I want to go to slide 30 because this is so important to make sure. Thank you. To 30. It was just, this is what one of the things, the parent engagement policy, PAP, it's like, this is one thing why you sit on the SLT to make sure this is really done pertaining to the parents. I had another slide what I wanted to show that I know a lot of schools right now are not putting, saying it's not mandatory for the Title I chairperson to sit at the table of the SLT, but it has always been encouraged and been told by the chancellor's office that they are supposed to sit at the table for the Title I as a Title I rep. And it's going to be mandatory. It's in the, we're updating right now the 655 where it would be in regulations that they will be mandatory members. So just if it's a PAC out there that you and the Title I that you do sit at the table, please reach out to Sharon Renshaw, Andre Ferguson to let them know that you're not sitting at the table because you're supposed to be sitting at the table. So it's very important that you sit at that table to bring the parents, the Title I parent voice to the table. Besides, Title I is the biggest part of the budget. So why wouldn't you sit at the table as a representative of Title I parents? So I want to just thank you so very much for listening to my presentation. And just thank you so very much. Right now, I don't know, tonight I'm just not feeling my best. Normally I'm flowing through stuff and everything is good, but I wasn't feeling my best. So I'm kind of like not where I'm supposed to be, but I definitely wanted to keep my commitment to Dr. Jackie because she always supports me in everything I do. And I just wanted to let her know I'm always here supporting her and I'll be there. So sorry if it wasn't the best, but thank you for hearing me. And I appreciate being at this table among all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Parent Leader Selena. That was good. Thank you very much for pushing through, even though you're not feeling your best. Really appreciate it. And I got a quick answer from the New York State PTA. They responded to me and they said, drum roll, please, because I was shocked. But then I remembered, oh yeah, that's right. So the answer is all New York City parent groups, New York City parent groups, both New York City PTAs and New York City PAs are not a part of the New York State PTA. The only PTA that's a part of the New York State PTA and National PTA right now is Queens Community PTA, which Lorraine Gittens Bridges is the founder of. So I forgot about that conversation because we've been having conversations with the president of National and the president of the New York State PTA, conversations about how do we get New York City to be a part of it.
Yes.
Because right now, we don't we're not able to bring our information as one and say, hey, this is what we need. You know, so we're working on it. They've had conversations with the chancellor, and they are in the midst of seeing how our PTAs and PAs can become part of the New York State PTA. So it doesn't matter whether you're a PTA or a PA, that the others throughout the state are part of them. It's just New York City. We got to make sure all boroughs. So I got your answer.
Thank you. And when you said, I remembered it also because when I'm up at ESSA, they have the national PTA sitting there, and we're like, we're the only ones that's not part of it. So yes, thank you. But I was really just asking, does even in the national PTA, not for just New York, PTAs and PAs sit at the table there? So thank you, Dr. Jackie.
You're welcome. And thank you again. Thank you. So I see that Farah has joined us. So everyone relax, and we're going to take a little commercial break. And we'll hand it over to parent leader Farah Despaigne. Hi, Farah.
Hi, Dr. Jackie. Thank you, Dr. Cody or Jackie. Thank you so much for inviting us here and for hearing us out and for giving us this opportunity. So my name is Farah Despaigne, and I'm the co-founder, I should say, because there were a few others, you know, helping us out, of the New York City Coalition for Educating Families Together. The idea of this coalition is to empower parents. So we do a lot of training around empowering PAs and PTAs and Title I folks, DPAC. And we also do a lot of work with other organizations throughout the country. So our goal is to really get parents to become equal partners at the table. And lately we are saying that we don't even want to be just at the table. We want to be in the kitchen where the things are being made. And more than that, we want to be on the farms and the barns and whatever that it is, where the things are being grown, so that we are part of it from day one, so that it's not just the Department of Education and the chancellor and the politicians making decisions, but that parents are at the table deciding along with, you know, other stakeholders how our kids are educated. And we encourage parents to not only be active in parent leadership inside the DOE, but outside of the DOE as well, but also to be really civically engaged, right? Because whether we want to admit it or not, education is politics. And whether we don't want to admit it or not, education is a business. What that means is that big corporations have their hands in the budget, in how our kids are educated or not educated. Politicians who are in the pockets of those big donors.
Explain yourself.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead, Reverend Michelle, can you mute?
Yes.
Thanks.
So that politicians who receive donations for their campaigns are also in the pockets of those big corporations. What that means is that between business and politicians, our voices are drowned out. So what that means is that parents, we have to be civically engaged. We have to be engaging our politicians. We have to be engaging each other. We have to be engaging the DOE. We have to be engaging our kids, because at the end of the day, education is about our kids and the future of this country. And we cannot leave the education of our kids to politicians who may not necessarily be in their best interest, or in the hands of corporations who just want to make money. So we have to be at the table and we have to be equal partners. And that is our goal. And we say as our motto, advocacy better, bigger and better, because we want to be loud, we want to be heard, and we want to be treated as equal partners. So if you have some time, check us out on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, I believe, but Facebook, I don't handle that part. But the point is, if you Google us, you can follow us on all our social media platforms. But more importantly, join us, because we intend on being the education movement that will move education and get us parents what we need, especially for our marginalized communities. When we're talking about Black and brown kids and Asian kids, we want all of our minority kids to be heard, especially the impoverished ones. So let's get this movement going. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much, Farah. Thank you. Thanks. Any questions for Selena and Farah? Anyone else who spoke so far? You can always write it in the chat or raise your hand. Thanks again, Farah.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now? I don't know. I have a lot of things going on here. I'm sorry.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So my first question is for Selena. I was just very grateful for the presentation. And my question is, we are a Title I school. So who is the person to speak to in terms of what we do with a Title I fund, or how does that, maybe that's another conversation, because I know we are, but yet there's money, but we don't know about anything.
Okay. I'm so glad you asked that question, because it's my task to make sure that if you are a Title I school, that you're supposed to have a PAC in place. And the PAC in place includes a chairperson and an alternate chairperson. And that is what you're supposed to have. If you don't have one, because elections should have been done in May, the same way you do your PTA elections. And once you have a PAC established, what you do is that chairperson is the one that, and you're supposed to include other members in your school, like we say 3 to 8, but it includes all the grades, EL parent, a parent with a student with an IEP. And so y'all get together collectively, and you are supposed to go according to your CEP for under the family and community engagement part, to say like, okay, y'all gonna do workshops, because Title I is about helping the parents, the parent piece only, that 1% is about helping parents to help them so they can help their students' academic achievement. So once you get your pack together, you're supposed to surveys, have Title I meetings, get that voice to say, this is what we need to bring to help our parents so they can help their students. So basically what I'm hearing you say is that, are you using your Title I funds because you're supposed to get your budget together? You're supposed to say, I'm gonna have a workshop, I'm gonna have a presentation, and I'm going to do this to help. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. In my school, I'm a high school, like you're a high school. I always have a financial aid workshop to help parents to learn about financial aid and college awareness and getting their child into school. We do region workshops, because a lot of parents don't even know what region is, how they affect the school. We do a lot of different things, anything we can do to help our parents to help their child. So go ahead. I'm gonna let you answer.
So yes, we do that as a PA, and I was told that we needed to have the Title I, but no one wanted to volunteer, and it could not be the president, and the vice president couldn't do it. So there was no one who would volunteer to be.
So you have to have, it's not a volunteers election. So no one wanted to nominate themselves or anybody else to be the PAC chair.
Right.
So you have to have a PAC chair in your school. Like you said, it's the law. You cannot get a Title I funds and do not have the parent involvement to say what goes on with the Title I fund. Not just the 1%, just the whole 100%. So for next year coming up, because your school is out of compliance, you have to make sure that you get a PAC in place, which is cool. I'm not going to keep using these parent advisory council. If you want to speak to me offline, I can fully explain to you and go over the protocols at any time. Like I said, I'm here for service. Call and reach out, and I can help you any way I can, Reverend Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And if I can add, one of the things that I do, because a lot of times parents, especially now that we've been through a global pandemic, and it's, as you said, it's worse when you get to high school anyway, because you know, it's like these children look like me, they don't need my help anymore, you know. But it's about going to parents and letting them know that this is mandate, this is law, and it does make a difference once parents hear that, because one of the hardest positions to also recruit for is recording secretary.
Yes.
But once parents hear that, listen, this is a mandated position, and we can't have a PTA without a recording secretary, and we're out of compliance if we don't have a Title I chair. And you put it to them like that, and say, you know, you will wear the title, but we'll work hand in hand.
Yes.
I'll hold your hand and we'll work together on it. But you know, sometimes it got to even come down to that. Like, could you just carry the title and we'll work together?
And you got to remember the funds. You know, we don't want to lose funds, you know, because that's so important. And also you got to remember, now, Michelle, you may not can be a PAC chair or vice chair, as I renamed it, because I alternate. I don't know how that works. But you can be a member on the PAC. You know, you could be a recording secretary, you could be a correspondent. I know you don't want to do recording secretary, you already told me, but you could still be a member on the PAC. So it's kind of like working together, you know, so it don't have to be where there's no people part of the PAC. So like I said, we could talk offline. I can help you any which way I can. I got a few ideas because I've been, like I said, it's been my wheelhouse for many, many years. So I'll be here if you know, Dr. Jackie has all my information, so she'll give it to you. And I'm a type of person, you can call me. I know that email people do, but I'm like a call person. Jackie, you know, we call each other, you know, anytime.
I would just like to add before I say thank you that I did have Jimmy come speak to Jimmy Brown come and speak. We were on CEC together for 3 years, and I did have her come and speak to us at our PTA meeting. So a lot of what you're saying is, you know, it's confirmation, but, you know, it's always good to hear a fresh voice. And I just enjoyed hearing you. And so I do also want to thank Jimmy Brown for helping us and giving us that.
She also sits on the Title I Steering Committee with me. She's my colleague.
So I will be reaching out to you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And I want to tell you, your presentation was on point. It was better than mine because, like I said, I'm not feeling my best, but yours.
We all the same. We all one family, right, Dr. Jackie?
That's right. With what I played at the beginning, we are family.
Okay.
So that's one thing I want to remind everyone. Like Abdullah went over the timeline. And elections, PTA elections are supposed to be happening now.
And PAC elections.
Along with your PTA elections, do your Title I elections as well. And like I said, if it has to come down to just, could you just wear the title and we'll help each other? Like Selena said, I'll be your recording secretary. We'll help each other out. But it's just the president, the mandated PTA officers cannot be the Title I chair. Okay, but you can be a non-mandated officer
just the president,
and be on the Title I.
No, just the president. Well,
I know the treasurer cannot be. The treasurer cannot be a Title I chair.
No, the treasurer or the
president,
recording secretary can be a Title I chair. It's only the president and the co-president as of now. We didn't make it where it's the treasurer or the recording secretary.
Oh, okay. I have to double check that because I heard the treasurer.
You can double check it
or
you want.
Okay.
That's not right before the call. So
thank you.
Check it and recheck it.
We're on it. We're on it. Thank you.
Yeah. The New York City Public Schools quote Selena. They refer to Selena when it comes to Title I.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be going to Selena. Hey, Selena, it's Red.
And I have a website too, but I'll tell you about that later.
Okay.
I have a Title I website.
Yeah, Curtis. Yeah. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you. So we'll hand it over now to my co-president, Rosa. Yes.
And just in case, I am also the Title I chair, and I have been doing Title I and spending all the fund for a couple of years now. I am so proud. I'm the first one in my district, I think, to have done that. But, you know, knowledge is power, and this is why we're here, to educate everyone. And also, I don't know if it was mentioned, but I believe it was, on top of the elections, on top of getting the Title I elections, also do the SLT elections if you have any vacancies. Truly recommend it. And I literally lost 1 second. Okay, there we go. So one of the main reasons why PA, PTA, President's Council, Citywide Council for High Schools, Councils for Special Education, ELL Council, and amongst all parents in leadership roles to work together and communicate amongst each other is unity. Unity for our children. Unity to advocate for our children. Unity is power. Unity empowers collaboration and the ability to work and build stronger partnerships. We, parent leaders, we work together. We advocate for equity, quality education, more resources, funds for our children. We need to stop fighting with each other. We need to start working with each other, collaborating and communicating more if we want to see the change happen now. We join because we care, because we want to inspire other parent leaders, because we want to empower and we want to educate other parent leaders who will be the next generation and will be taking over either after we leave or they can join us. We have to build, extend, and keep the partnerships to better equip our schools and make the education system enjoyable. That's my 2 cents presentation. And thank you so much. I will do one more thing. I want to end the meeting with, what have you learned today? Can you drop 1 or maybe 2 words in the chat of everything that you learned today? And if someone can read it, because I'm on my phone.
No answers yet, but I will definitely put in that I learned that recording secretary and treasurers can be a Title I chair.
Yeah, we didn't want to take out the whole PTA. It's
yes,
just
it's
that,
true. Only the president of the PA or PTA cannot be
or
in the Title I pack.
Or co-president.
Right, because you know it's president, it's half the president or something like that.
Yeah.
So what have you all learned?
Reverend Michelle said she's learned so much.
I know, right? 1 word or 2 words are not enough.
Yep.
I said I learned that there's so much more to learn because it's almost overwhelming. It's but it's so good.
It is absolutely a lot
fundamental.
Yes. But if you see, everything is about unity, how we have to work together if we want to see the change now. If we don't work together, then you're doing your thing and I don't know what you're doing to support our children. These are our children. We took this role to support our children, not to fight with another parent leader. And I do want to thank you, Dr. Cody, so much, because you believe in me, even though I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Dr. Cody says, you got it. And she empowers me. So thank you.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone that is here still tonight.
Dr. Jackie, Ms. Rosa, this is what I learned and realized that this forum is so important and so much needed, because we still just need to always support and keep people abreast, because even though a lot of us have been parent leaders, have been involved in just supporting our schools as a whole, there's still, like you said, so much more to learn, and to know that, you know, when you feel like, oh, so much going on, that you do have a support system. So I'm so glad that Manhattan High Schools, the President's Council, have decided. Big up to y'all. Y'all know, and I sit on Citywide Council of High Schools also, and I so much love and appreciate when y'all come to that table also. You know, definitely Dr. Jackie, bro, all of y'all. I just love it. Y'all just come in and be part of it. So, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Are there any questions? Well, we hand it over to our family leadership coordinator who helped us to put this together. Thank you, my co-president, Rosa. You do got this. you hear her, right? She's Title I chair, at her daughter's school. She's a PTA president at her son's school. She's the co-president of Manhattan High School, and it just goes on. CEC president for D4, and it goes on. So my mom always said, if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Yes, okay.
This is Suzanne, the interpreter. I don't know if my team can see me, so I'm just letting her know that we can switch when she's ready.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Suzanne. Yes, Rosangela, take it away, and then we'll open the floor for if anyone has questions or comments or just want to talk.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And I want to quote Rosa Diaz, power is knowledge. And I want to thank you for this wonderful presentation I have learned a lot. And as Bravo Michelle said, it's so much that I still have to learn. I'm new to a job. So this was wonderful. And I'm very grateful to be in this space and learn from you all. This job is very important to advocate for the students' education. Like we all said, this is for us to work in partnership together. And, we went over the state laws, regulations. If you have any questions, you can write it on the chat. We're going to have time for that later. I want to thank you, the partnership who came and did the presentation, the parent leaders. Yeah, that's all I have. Thanks. Oh, thank you for Dr. Kari for giving the space for us to learn from each other and collaborate for students.
My pleasure, and thank you for being who you are. So I don't know if the results of the poll is being shared.
Yes.
So no one's an expert. We're all learning, going through this together, and that's good to know. So let's see these topics.
Yeah. So
all right. So
what was untitled question? That's what.
Do you have a question?
It said
untitled. There was no question.
No, I by mistake I forgot to delete that question before launching, and I couldn't redo it because otherwise I would lose the information.
Okay,
but people still chose.
Yes, I guess they chose question one.
Water's question two. Yeah, that's what they was thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that leaders can continue to do this, and as we graduate out, that we could work with one another. I said we should start. There should be an alumni chapter for seasoned parent leaders, to help those and, you know, always be around to help. And
That's my,
because it looks like parent and community leadership structure, PAPTA, SLT budget, Title I, President's Council, and some said all of the above. So I think forums like this to empower and share information should happen twice a year. We did this in August, but we more so focused on roles and responsibilities as we enter into the new school year. People need to know, you know, exactly what's expected of them of the new school year. And then now around elections time, just give an overview of all of the things that they need to know. So hopefully this will continue, and that citywide organizations will partner with FACE to do this with all parents, because it could become overwhelming just having all these different meetings. That district has this meeting, that school has this meeting, and sometimes we do need to collaborate and unite, as my co-president says, in unity, and put this information out there, and then we can more so support one another locally on different things that we may need to know. But a lot of this stuff is generic. That means you need to know all this no matter where you are, whether you're in Far Rockaway, Queens, or South Bronx, no matter where you are. A lot of this stuff is generic and across the board. So
sorry.
Yep. So with that said, I want to open the floor to any questions, comments, anything anyone wants to share. I want to thank all the presenters again. Thank you so much. Teamwork makes the dream work. So I always look at who's here, the quality of who's here. And of course, a lot of parents had a lot of things going on this evening, as we all do. But I think if we keep this going, that the numbers will build. It will definitely build and get it out there. But the floor is open.
Selena has her hand raised.
Okay, yeah, do I have the floor?
Yes.
Okay, so much you just now said about parent leadership united, as you know, and I know you encouraged me to put this out here tonight. You know, I founded a organization called Parent Leaders United. Our motto, our passion is stepping up to ensure student success, acknowledging their needs, advocating for their right so they can accomplish their goals. And that's something that's dear to my heart. So you're right. And I put parent leaders, and I started this, and Dr. Jackie was one of my presenters at my Black Women History Month program that I did on February 28th. And to know, you know, parents coming together and parent leadership always, we came together, we did a program, we did an event, and it was successful. Like, we always wish that the numbers would rise, but the people was there, they got what they needed to hear. So Dr. Jackie can, you know, you can reach out to me, because I really want this organization to grow, you know, whether you are a parent where your child is in school, or whether you're a parent and your child has graduated into college. You know, I think parent leaders will always exist, you know, no matter whether you're in a public school currently or you have been in a public school. So that's why I want to hope that this organization will grow and we'll be able to do, you know, more for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to each of you. And I know Farah said something so profound earlier about, we want to be in the kitchen. We want to be on the farm. And that's what the citywide leadership team is about, where you're not just going to make these decisions in isolation and then end up being sued by the city. It gives an opportunity, just like the school leadership team, it gives an opportunity at the central level to sit down with the chancellor, the senior representative of the unions, parent leaders, student leaders at the table, saying, listen, we're bringing this in. The carrots grew, so now we can harvest the carrots and we can, pick the apples and bring it all together and make a very delicious meal together. So it takes all of us, and I appreciate the organizations that are in support, New York City CEP, Parent Leaders United, and all the other individuals and groups represented here this evening. Thank you all so much. And as Family Leadership Coordinator Rosangela said, she's learned a lot and learning more. I'm still learning. Thank you, Selena. Thank you, everyone. Are there any other questions, any other comments? Interpreters, do you all have questions?
In the chat, in they chat. I mean, in their rooms.
Any questions? Interpretation rooms. Okay.
No questions on the Spanish line.
Thank you so much.
No questions on the Mandarin line. Thank you.
Thank you. And ASL, any questions?
No question from Suzanne Terrio.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad you got the ASL. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, our parent leaders. Yeah. So we'll close out with what we opened up with. I want to make sure the sound is on. Thank you all. Be safe.